Okay, for San Diego State, we have student athletes Chelsea Hopkins, Courtney Clements, Coach Beth Burns. Coach, if we can start with you, some general comments on today's game.
Well, first I'd like to congratulate Air Force on, we've played 2 relatively tight games with them. We knew what to expect. But with that said, saying it and doing it and stopping it is another thing. So I give them a lot of credit for how they came out and competed and gave us more than we could handle early, and feel fortunate that we were able to get ourselves righted. With that, I'm really proud of our team. I think the uniqueness about this Mountain West Conference season is that maybe other than UNLV, which has a lot of core experienced athletes back, just about all of us have new people, freshmen, or people in positions they've never been before. And I tell our team a lot, no one's been in the championship end zone before. And there's an adjustment to that. And I really felt that we had a little bit of nerves early. And then I thought we conquered our nerves by being determined to fix it by ourselves early. And then I think we were down about 10 at that point, and I thought that wasn't a good strategy either. And so I think we got ourselves regrouped. We got good, as we have all season long, got some help off the bench, got some putbacks, and really tried to, with what they were doing, unleash Chelsea a little bit in the middle of the floor and make them stop her in the paint, because she's kind of a catalyst for everything that we want to do. And I think after halftime, we regrouped, talked a little bit about what we wanted to do, and was real pleased with the way we came back and finished the game, the energy we played with.
Thank you, Coach. Now we'll open up for questions for the student athletes only, and then we'll come back to Coach.
Nick Halsey, MWC.com. Courtney,
Thanks, Peg.
what was the message at halftime, or what were you guys able to do coming out of the half that made you guys successful, were able to lead the rest of the way?
We just knew that we needed to focus on defense. That's our biggest thing. It's been our big thing all year, is playing great defense. And, you win on defense, especially in games where you can't knock shots down. It's a grind, it's a grind, it's a grind. And, if you don't play good defense, then, you don't win. Championship teams always play really good defense. So that was our main focus, is just coming in and getting stops so that, when we do score, we get a stop, then, we can get back in the game.
Over here.
Forrest Lee, North County Times. Chelsea, you were able to get in the lane more in the second half. What adjustments did you make at the half, and why were you so successful in the second half?
I just felt like in the first half I wasn't really being too aggressive. In the second half, I knew I wanted to utilize the pick and roll and the ball screens. We knew that their plan was to switch, and I knew that the switch was coming, so I was just trying to be aggressive and attack, and my posts were slipping to the basket, and me just getting into the lane and trying to create for my teammates, and that was the biggest thing.
Chelsea, Frank Schwab, Colorado Springs Gazette. How surprised were you guys by how many different defenses they ran at you guys right away? It seemed like they were switching just about every possession.
Not surprised at all. Air Force is a unique team. They've been doing that to us the first 2 times that we played. Not really surprised at their game plan. We know that they're going to be aggressive, very up-tempo, and just trying to keep us on our toes the entire game. So I think at first, that's what kind of led to our hesitation. We didn't really know what they were doing in the second half. But once we finally settled down, and especially on the defensive end, like Courtney said, that's when our offense really started to come together, and we were able to, read off of each other, play off each other, and make plays.
Over here.
Courtney, what was the difference for you in the second half?
Well, I just played as hard as I could. I just did whatever I could do, I did it. Fortunately for me, I was able to get some O boards, and, the opportunity presented itself, and I took the opportunity. Sometimes when shots aren't falling, you got to find other ways. You're going to have a lot of games where you can't knock it down, or maybe you just can't get touches, and you got to find a way to win. And so I just saw an opportunity by going to the offensive boards, and luckily I was getting putbacks and getting M1s, and I was able to, get us going a little bit.
Back here.
Adam Candy from UNLV Radio. Either of you can take this. Coach talked about the fact that no one's really been in that, so to speak, championship end zone before. You've worked with the same group of girls all year long, yet you come into a situation like this. It's conference tournament. Is it any sense of nerves or anything like that in the first round here that you got to get that out of the way first few minutes, first half, whatever it is, and then get back to the game that you guys know and play well?
I think we'd be lying if we sat up here and said we weren't nervous at all. I mean, you know,
That's
we're
impressive. I really thought they were going to lie, so that's impressive. I know coaches aren't supposed to interject, but Mick knows I had to. Good job, Courtney. I'm proud of you.
But of course, you know, last year we came in here in this tournament and we lost in the first round. So, you know, you always, to a team that we had beat 2 times prior. So having that kind of that monkey on your back, you know that it's possible to lose to a team that you've beat before that on paper you should beat. Anything can happen in March. We're very well aware of that. And so you are nervous. And yeah, maybe this game was kind of us getting our nerves out of the way, but at the same time, you know, it's something that you just got to work through. And fortunately for us, we were able to do that.
Okay, at this time we'll dismiss our student athletes. Thank you, ladies.
Good job, ladies. Thank you.
Now we'll open up for questions for Coach Burns.
Mick McGrain, Mount West senior writer. Beth, do you ever let yourself think what this team might be like without those 2 players?
No. Because I've had that before. No. And that's, you know, people say, well, why are you good? You know, you can't, our team is not, you cannot look at a stat sheet to figure out our team. I knew we were nervous because we are a very good free throw shooting team. We're at about, 76% in conference. We try to get the right people in the right spots and get them to the line. We're a very good offensive rebounding team. We did neither of those things today, but we knew our question mark coming into the season wasn't the backcourt because they were what Courtney had done in the offseason to change herself, and Chelsea was in practice with us, just crushing us on a daily basis a year ago. It was how to integrate it all and what were our young bigs going to be able to, how are we going to facilitate a system that we can help these young ones along? But there's no question. I think it kind of goes back to the old coaching adage of you're going to know what we're going to do, but fortunately now for 23 times, people haven't been able to stop it.
Becker.
Coach, obviously you're not going to be surprised by anyone coming out with a great effort in the conference tournament, but nuts and bolts wise, anything that Air Force did that you needed to adjust to, whether that was in-game, halftime, whatever?
I don't think so, because I think really by this point, that's why conference tournament games are usually so ugly, because you can't change what you do. I can't say, you know what, they have a weakness there, let's shoot a 3 if we can't shoot the 3. You know, you can't change what your strengths are, nor can they. They've done a terrific job all season by trying to play, and I say this with respect, ugly basketball. They're going to foul you or steal it from you. They're going to put their head down and take it to the hole. They're going to give us matchup problems because we're going to keep our bigs on the floor, but we're not a very good zone team. We're too young, we don't communicate well enough. So we have to kind of work on some switching mans and things like that. So I wasn't really surprised. I think we were a little bit nervous, but I didn't expect any 80 to 40s because if you look at both seasons, I think what was atypical for both teams are pretty good defensive teams. And at one point I looked up and I almost laughed. It was like 53 to 46. I'm like, yeah, this is usually a final for us. We're usually like ready to wrap it. And we had like 11 minutes to go. So I think for both of us, that it showed on both ends. Neither of us were probably as good as what we normally do because of the moment. But fortunately for us, it's behind us. Yeah.
Anything else?
Everybody? Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, everybody. You have a great radio voice, by the way. That guy is a radio guy. You have a great radio